Story of World War I: How one event changed the world forever. World War I, also known as the Great War, was one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. It lasted from 1914 to 1918 and involved many of the world's most powerful nations. But how did such a massive war begin? To understand this, we need to go back to early 20th century Europe, a continent full of tension, pride, and hidden rivalries. At that time, Europe was divided into two major groups. On one side, there was the Allied powers, including Britain, France, and Russia. On the other side were the Central Powers, mainly Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. These countries were not at war yet, but they were building strong armies and forming alliances. Each nation wanted more power, more land, and more influence. This growing competition created a dangerous situation. There were four main causes behind World War I: militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. Militarism means building a strong military and preparing for war. Countries like Germany and Britain were increasing their armies and navies rapidly. This created fear and suspicion among nations. Alliances meant that countries promised to defend each other. So if one country went to war, its allies would join too. This turned small conflicts into big wars. Imperialism was the desire to control more land and colonies. European powers were competing in Africa and Asia, which increased tensions. Nationalism was extreme pride in one's country. People believed their nation was superior and should dominate others. All these factors made Europe like a ticking time bomb, waiting for a single spark. That spark came on June 28, 1914. Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary was assassinated in Sarajevo by a young nationalist named Gavrilo Princip. He was from a group that wanted Bosnia to break away from Austria-Hungary and join Serbia. This assassination shocked the world. Austria-Hungary blamed Serbia and declared war on July 28, 1914. Because of alliances, the conflict quickly spread. Russia supported Serbia. Germany supported Austria-Hungary. Soon, France and Britain joined the war. Within weeks, most of Europe was at war. Germany had a plan called the Schlieffen Plan. They wanted to defeat France quickly by attacking through Belgium, then move to fight Russia. But the plan failed, and the war became longer and deadlier than expected. On the Western Front, soldiers fought in trenches, long, narrow ditches dug into the ground. Life in the trenches was horrible. Soldiers faced mud, rats, disease, and constant fear. New and deadly weapons were used in this war. Machine guns, poison gas, tanks, and airplanes made fighting more destructive than ever before. Battles like the Battle of the Somme and the Battle of Verdun resulted in millions of casualties, with very little gain. On the Eastern Front, the war was more mobile. Germany fought against Russia and won several important victories. Meanwhile, the Ottoman Empire joined the Central Powers and fought against the Allies in the Middle East. In 1917, a major turning point occurred. The United States entered the war on the side of the Allies. At first, America stayed neutral, but German submarine attacks on ships and the Zimmermann telegram changed everything. The entry of the United States gave new strength to the Allies. At the same time, Russia left the war due to the Russian Revolution. The country was facing internal problems and could no longer continue fighting. By 1918, Germany was exhausted. Its army was weakening, and its people were suffering. The Allies launched a final offensive with fresh American troops. Germany realized it could not win the war. On November 11, 1918, Germany agreed to an armistice, ending the fighting. World War I was over. But the damage was unimaginable. More than 16 million people were killed and millions more were injured. Entire cities were destroyed and economies were shattered. In 1919, the Treaty of Versailles was signed. This treaty officially ended the war, but it placed harsh punishments on Germany. Germany had to accept blame for the war, pay heavy reparations, and reduce its military. Many historians believe that this treaty created anger and resentment in Germany, which later led to World War II. World War I also changed the world map. Empires like Austria-Hungary and the Ottoman Empire collapsed. New countries were formed in Europe and the Middle East. The war also changed society. Women took on new roles by working in factories and supporting the war effort. This helped advance women's rights in many countries. World War I showed the world the true horrors of modern warfare. It was not just a war between soldiers, it affected civilians, families, and entire nations. Even today, the impact of World War I can still be seen in global politics and conflicts. It reminds us how dangerous pride, rivalry, and misunderstanding can be. And most importantly, it teaches us the value of peace. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to History of World for more powerful stories from history.